Hey YouTube fam, what's up? It's Francine Simone, and this is a question I get a lot, which is how do I feel about authors who self-cancel their books and the kind of cancellation culture that happens with books on Twitter? So the short answer is I really don't care. So first, I get this question asked to me all the time in my DMs, and I figured I'd just make a video because it's more easier to just put a video out there and tell people how I feel about it than them consistently asking me and having to like explain over and over again. Plus, I could be a lot more nuanced with a video. And the long answer to that is that I believe everyone gets to do whatever they want. I don't think I get to have an opinion on whether someone else is like on someone else self-canceling or not. Like, do I think it's a waste? I don't know. I didn't read the book. Do I think that they should do it because it was terrible and they should have some moral obligation to the rest of us? I don't know. I didn't read the book. Plus, I really don't care. You can print your trash if it's trash, and I just probably won't read it. You have no obligation to me. So for me, I don't care whether it happens or whether it doesn't. I just think in general that I have no opinion on how other people wish to navigate their own careers. I think it's their careers and their choices to make. I mean, the most controversial opinion of today is I don't think people are forced to do it. I know that there are a lot of people who disagree with how Twitter handles like problematic books, but I don't think that the person themselves is forced to do it out of moral obligation just because a bunch of people like are calling for some type of justice. There are multiple options. You can clap back. You can say you understand and you're going to pull your book. You can say you understand, but you're going to have to disagree because you believe that you've done the things that you've meant to do and that you do understand that they will not be reading your book and you know that not every book is for every fucking reader. I mean, like, you can do whatever it is that you're going to do. And I think at the end of the day, it's all a mindset. I think most people probably self-cancel because they're of the mindset that books hurt people. And I'm not of that mindset. I believe more often that not vocally critiquing social and cultural institutions that are there and their sole purpose is to raise some but not others is far more harmful. Now, I think that when you believe that books are harmful, you're of the mindset that you have committed a crime against humanity if you've offended somebody and for whatever reason. And when you are of the mindset that not using your voice to criticize social and cultural institutions that are made to raise some and not others, you realize that if you did do something that was wrong, because you are inherently, like as an American, we are inherently all part of this institution, whether we agree with it or not, then you can say, man, I played into the man. The man got me. And I'm so glad that this person brought that up because now I can really like do some self-reflection and grow. But does that mean that your art shouldn't exist because your art was part of it? Well, that's part of the conversation. Without that art existing in the beginning or in the first place, there's no conversation to be had. There's just this idea of don't fuck up. But what is fucking up? I mean, I'm not saying that you should be out there waving your dirty laundry so that other people know how not to have dirty laundry. It's just that when it comes to art, the whole point of it is to express your perspective, and the whole point of the viewer is to have an opinion or to experience that and to make them think. And if you say, oh, this person thought, and they thought bad things, or they thought things that were, that my stuff is inherently problematic, well, I should take it down. Well, people aren't thinking anymore. So there's that. And the idea that kids, or I should say children, because I think kid lit, which is like between 9 to 12, is far different for young adult literature, which is for like 13 to 18. I think it's really different to tell even a 13-year-old or an 18-year-old that they're not cognitively superior enough to think on the same level as this adult who don't even know how to hold conversations without being dicks. So for me, I think when you self-cancel, you're probably feeding into the mindset that you have somehow created a crime against humanity and whatever. Like maybe you did for you in your mindset. For some people you didn't, but what does that matter? What only matters is what you think, which is why my opinion on whether somebody self-cancels or not is null and void. Like I'm not really interested in that. I also don't think it's the author's job to read like critiques of their work on Goodreads and then do better. I think it's their job to either grow as an author and become a person who can experience their world and reflect out their art in a way that speaks to how they see the world. I think that's their only job. And if you aren't relevant, you will die off. If you are relevant and you speak to a lot of other people and what they how they experience things and feels, then I guess you made a mark on some people. I don't think that it's necessary that only some are selected to do this while others aren't allowed to do this, because you're just denying people the right to have their voice at some point in time. And I think if you self-cancel yourself, well, whatever, that's just your choice. I think the only job that we have as individual people is to know what we stand for and what we will fall for. Now, I know who I am and what I stand for and how I wish to express that to the world. And my question is, do you? But to answer the question at the end of the day, which is, what's my opinion on people who self-cancel, it's that I don't care. I really don't. I think the more pressing issue is how we treat people when problematic stuff arises. I think we should treat people with empathy and with respect. And I said it before and I will say it again. If you can't have empathy with someone that you disagree with, and now there are varying degrees on what you count as a disagreement. So we're over here talking about books on book Twitter. We're not talking about like massive crimes against humanity, right? Like we're talking about books in this context. So if you have a disagreement with someone, or you wrote something that someone found offensive, or you read something that you didn't find offensive or somebody else did, or you just disagree on the fact that art should be morally stipulated in that sense. Like, if you can't empathize with someone who disagrees with you on some of these topics, I can't trust your ass. All that tells me is that you only see your perspective and you think your perspective is superior to everyone else, which also means all the inherent and internalized racism and prejudice that you have, you also think is fine and okay because you believe that your perspective is the only perspective. And it takes empathy to be able to grow and to be able to challenge the problematic issues that you have, because chances are somebody who doesn't have empathy for someone that they disagree with, they're going to turn around and do some shit that's problematic and fucked up, and then have to be either apologize for it, all shocked and shit in the face. Oh my God, I didn't even know. Like, I guess I have growing to do. Yes, bitch, of course you have growing to do. We all do. That is the whole point of life. We all got to grow. Why are you shocked by this? The most interesting aspect of that is that you walked around thinking that you had grown enough in some instance. And I'm not over here telling people that they need to be like victimizing themselves or beating themselves, or, be guilt-ridden and beating themselves up every 5 seconds because they are not, growing enough and they're not doing enough. No, life isn't even about that either. It's about experiencing something. If you're an artist, express it and then grow from that act of expression, because you're consistently growing. And art is just a catalog of your perspective on life. Do as you will. But my answer is, I low-key don't care. And I don't think that it's up to us to care about what someone else does with their career, regardless of whether you felt like they were doing something important or not. I don't think that, like, if we're not going to accept an apology that somebody has, or we are going to accept one, like, it's just a book. At the end of the line, they're just books, and you're probably going to forget about this person anyways. You're probably going to forget about all of this shit that has anything to do with anything while you're reading something that you like, or while you go off to do something that you really enjoy doing. So at the end of the day, what does it all matter? Support what you love, and that will go far farther than all the other stuff. Hey guys, my name is Francine Simone. I upload videos Tuesdays at 2, Saturdays at 10. Please leave down below a comment on kind of your opinion on self-canceling. Your opinion's probably different than mine. I just so happen to be a very kind of like pragmatic person, and I don't think either way is right or wrong. It just is what it is. So I'd like to know your opinion down below. And guys, I will see you Tuesdays at 2, Saturdays at 10. I will see you then. TTYL. Ta-ta for now. Bye.